The exposed pipes are a trip to me. There's always something unnerving about them. Oh. What are you doing? Relatively unused to people really even being all that actively animated in general. Oh. Oh. Well, there's some lighting. Oh.
You've eaten?
No, but it's okay.
Your father killed himself. In case you're wondering. Jumped off the balcony.
Mom,
Your hair. Why do you look like this?
my gift. It requires me to... It's a long story.
Hi, Iris. Everything is a long story with you.
Iris. No one has called me that in a long, long time.
What do they call you?
ALLMOTHER.
Oh, is that supposed to be funny?
No. It's because I have sisters. Many clones that I raised.
You?
Yes.
You raised kids? They obey you?
Mom.
Surprising. You could barely dress yourself. Your room? My God.
Mom. I'm someone else now. I'm an adult.
You cooking for yourself now?
No, but
That's what I thought. Oh, if only Ba could see this. He'd be so amused.
I don't want to fight.
Oh? Then what do you want? Why, after all this time, you want to talk to me?
I want to ask for your advice.
Okay.
It's not exactly subtle, but there's a lot of visual things going on with each relationship, like showing the purple sister and the youngest, I guess youngest and eldest, each being on the other side of bars, like unable to reach each other. Here we have Iris ascending the stairs, warm lighting up, cold lighting down, leaving behind. It's about like what you leave behind as you continue forward.
How did you do it? How did you leave everything behind and then start a family?
And then they say the same words I just said.
Isn't that what you did?
Yep.
That's not what you want to know.
Okay. What do I want to know?
How did I balance the work hours with the thanklessness of parenting at the same time as the insomnia and severe post-traumatic paranoia?
Yes.
Easy. Ba. He kept me going. We kept each other going.
Did you ever regret having a child?
Foolish question. Next.
But Iris was... I was...
Regret? Moi moi. Or whoever you are. We are poor technology. The human body and brain. Too capable of storing clutter. Too desperate to hold on to things.
The mother was similarly unsentimental as the occupant is.
You just have to move forward. If you're tired, doesn't matter. If you are bitter, doesn't matter. I do not forgive my daughter for having left me. Doesn't matter. I do not forgive my husband for having left me. Doesn't matter. So, I keep moving.
I didn't go back.
What?
I promised you and Bob I would come back home. And it was a lie. I even had a chance, but I couldn't go back. I could only go forward.
Good girl.
The idea that the harm she caused her mother was consistent with her mother's ideology, and that dissonance. I wonder if this is genuinely them getting to talk on some level, like an afterlife.
Secretary.
There's something very trippy about the idea of creating this shell around everything that's, as they said, lossless, implying that they essentially created heaven or a form, something equivalent to that kind of idea. And the idea of something that, like that being made by someone who seems so unsentimental, like unmoved by the idea of suffering and death and so on, but nonetheless creating that kind of thing. And once again, we'll point out the parallel between the visual of the shell that is around Earth and each of the keepers, the secretaries, the drone things. Those are just the same shape, to the point where I'm like, is Secretary a planet? Is each occupant a planet, even? Is it Andy Weir's The Egg? Or the writer of The Martian? He did a short story before that called The Egg, which was this story about somebody who just died, and they're talking with somebody that's talking them through the process of them realizing who they are again, remembering all the lives they've had, and how they're about to go back in and be reincarnated once again, and they're going to keep living another life over and over again, displaced in space and time, but living another life on Earth. But particularly, it turns out they're going to live every life on all of Earth. Every person ever was the same person, inevitably, on the endless chain of reincarnations. That one person lived every single life over the course of an unfathomable amount of time. And then the end result of living every experience on an entire planet, of an entire civilization, and then all being you, ultimately, is how a species that is an individual ascends to godhood. And I don't know. I've brought it up a few times here and there, clearly stuck with me. I brought it up every now and then in other playthroughs, but it might be relevant this time in particular, because what is up with the, what exactly is up with the occupants? I'm not sure. Question now is, what is left of Secretary?
Is that really you?
Blue. Hello, Blue. I remember now. I'm sorry. It's been a while.
What happened? What happened to your body?
I've merged. More me, less them. I see I've returned to this place. That's good. I can finally end this. You can finally end this. Interesting.
Did it work?
Yes, the memories of Iris, of Watcher. They have been passed down to all sisters, and now we are afloat.
Secretary, what did you do? What did I just see?
I overrode everything.
Overrode?
While the simulation was still running, everything collided. This is the last communion. Blue, it's time for you to decide. What should stay, and what should go? What future you desire. That was Watcher's wish, and I will abide by it. One final intervention before I leave.
You're leaving.
I must not interfere any further. I've already done so much damage. This world must be allowed to continue, without my presence, and without the disease.
So, what now?
You need to evaluate what stands before you. Confirm your decisions. Then return to me, and I will make them reality.
Decide sisters' fates. Just casually decide everyone's fate. A normal thing to do. So we are explicitly attaching the occupants and the disease for sure. Oh, we're here. Have I reached the end of this whole journey? We're all the way back to this first room with the strange halo of light and people standing around. It's definitely not the same people standing around. It's definitely not like, oh wow, now the first scene makes so much sense. It's like, it's definitely completely different stuff going on around here.
Iris's mother and father. The memories of a city, always on the shore of extinction. An obsession and yearning that will never stop. It can help you subsist, or it can make you starve. Will you carry this?
Lights on, lights off is what it's breaking down to. So we're doing the equivalent of when they branched, they chose what they would keep and what the new version of them would know or not know, essentially. Like, we're essentially disabling parts of reality for the new society.
A radical sister who came to words later in life.
I'm not going to beg, miscellaneous. I thought you wanted change. Instead, he'll side with those old sisters. I've lived under their thumb long enough.
She is an agent of change. No matter the change, and no matter the cost, will you carry this?
She's one of the most upsetting characters in the whole game, when she just, with her just watching the torture and so on. And all the harm she's done to people.
The Red Guard.
All of them?
How would you differentiate?
The provisional government serves all sisters, especially the ones who need help.
A hammer. Both when a hammer is necessary and when it is not. Will you carry this?
They're essentially asking us to choose whether they live or die. Like, all of them as individuals. It's brutal. This is an upsetting chunk of game. I mean, you could just not make any choices. Just leave everything on and leave. But the struggle is you don't get the choice to differentiate between the institution and the people.
This is your chance, Iris type, for what ancient Iris did to ancient Zhao.
What you doing, Blue? You dancing? I guess I'm not 1000% clear on exactly what our choice is, because obviously it's not exclusively about living and dying, because, you know, our parents are already dead.
We never asked to be born. Same as you. We deserve our own way.
The responsibility to repair what has been wrought, long before and long after. A burden so heavy it could crush you. Will you carry this?
Obviously.
We only ask to worship out in the open, without prosecution. Sisters who are lost need the comfort of a mother. Would you kill us for this?
Tradition can soothe the difficulties of reality. It can also have a dangerous gravity. Will you carry this?
They're essentially taunting you with the specter of another future change. Because we keep having another revolution, another direction things go on, and a particular ideology and spark that inspires each one. And this is the one that has not taken hold, but might. It might be what comes next, essentially, if you let them exist. But pruning that is also monstrous in the actual act of it, so it's just bleh. But they are wrong.
Blue, Secretary, what are you doing? You're not serious.
BB, can you hear me?
We have to go to the surface. There's nothing left for us down here. We'll die out.
Sisters that were never your own, follow the dreams of the surface, and whatever may wait for you there, or spend your final days with what you already have. Will you carry this?
We've done our service. You can't just throw us away. We have the right to continue.
Those who are set in their ways and slow to change, but with experience to spare, will you carry this?
I think these represent the older generation? The ones that survived from before Mother?
The ancient sister.
Don't you see? What Mother did. You have no idea what it's like. Living in her shadow.
A sister who has been wronged and has wronged in kind. An open wound. Will you carry this?
It's a rough character because you spent so much time with her, seeing what she went through. But she was also just so cruel. Nowhere ultimately scares me more. Oh, hey.
High Minister of the Provisional Government.
Do what you must, sister. That's what I've always done, and I'm not going to apologize for it.
An adaptable sister who will do or say anything to survive. Will you carry this?
They've forgotten us, left us to rot. You're one of us, Blue. You know how it feels. Principal and the High Minister need to pay for their crimes. We can carve our own path, starting today. You can't betray your own kind.
A sister who keeps justice and anger closely together. She has only ever known the fight. Will you carry this?
I think that's everyone. Most torn on deleting the police force because of the actual people involved, and most torn on letting Principal survive with what she was up to. It's rough because she was just abandoned to this to make sense of it. She was literally alone and then had to do all this from scratch. I'm trying to remember the totality of the game because there's just so much to keep track of, and I'm like, her biggest cruel act was mostly against Mother, although she did want Watcher's head. Mm-hmm. And she's responsible for what happened to Fixer. Yeah, no, it's just too much. It's too cruel.
Who has been wronged and has wronged in kind. An open wound. Will you carry this?
It's a mess. But there's a theme in who I've turned off here. Interesting that you're separated from Knower, mainly because you wouldn't anticipate that distinction being made by the end of the game, but they are pretty separate by now. Not totally sure what's going to happen here.
Blue, are you ready to appraise your decisions?
To some extent, the answer is that nobody should have this kind of power. And the honest expression of that idea is to not do anything to anybody, essentially. But we are stuck in a situation where if we don't disable the power structure currently doing this, then we don't have change. And we won't have accomplished anything, and we will lose. And that's a fucked up fate to let continue. It is continually confusing what the mother and father mean compared to everybody else. Because it feels like we're literally choosing whether people live or die very directly, but those two characters have been dead for 1,000 years.
I am. You have chosen a future that casts aside the knife for more difficult incisions, that aspires to new instruments, but that leaves you vulnerable, that faces past wrongs head-on, no matter the cost, that seeks to persist on the surface, regardless of the unknown and the possibility for pain, that recognizes past contributions and to go more slowly, that allows for comfort in tradition at the risk of docility, that knows some lines must not be crossed, regardless of survival, that relentlessly seeks justice for those ignored, that believes some are simply beyond forgiveness, that remembers where you came from, knowing you can never fully connect to it. Are you certain? The ancient sister's sin will finally be eradicated. She has hid all her life. She can finally rest in oblivion. Maybe some people are truly beyond forgiveness.
She needs to go. Otherwise, certain sisters will rally behind her again. She had her chance to do what was right, much longer than the rest of us. She chose to hold tightly.
If that is your wish, then so be it.
Thank you, Secretary.
Farewell, Blue. Let this thread be unburdened.
Well, I guess we survived the fall. That's been happening for the last 4 hours. I wonder if we're someone else now? Discovering the train station in this building in this ship. Maybe another 100 years later. Urban explorer vibes. Like we're a remnant of the distant future of society. Remnant's probably a weird word to use. Is this the room where the horse was? Maybe not. It seems they're ending the game by having us walk the reverse of the path we walked at the beginning when we went to see Fixer off. Who was that?
I'm usually here alone. So thank you for coming with me. I know it's dangerous.
This was your home.
It's Emma Zhao.
One of them, yes. It's the one I think about the most.
The others didn't want to come. We left for good, they said.
But you came.
Yes. I wanted to know more. See it for myself.
That's important. After everything that's happened, I can't help but come back. I return every year.
You're mourning.
Some things can't be rushed. Sometimes it feels like it was just yesterday. Why don't you go visit my sisters? I'm sure they'd be happy to see someone other than me for once.
Oh. Fixer, healer, knower, watcher. Oh my god. A lot of characters, actually. Are they all in there? No, they're in the distance. What is this?
Remember a teenager who fled her home with a full backpack and a picture in her pocket. She couldn't find happiness. She missed her parents. For you, something old. I feel as if I know her.
I wonder what it means by, like, find where healer remains and so on. Like, did healer never live on past this place?
Remember an unflinching bartender who tended to libation the way she tended to revolution. She chose not to be careful. She was shot in the back. For you, something sacred. A hero, it sounds like.
Oh? You weren't there a second ago, right? We're conjuring ghosts. Fixer's quarters. Her replacement lasted literally hours. Actually, maybe not literally plural hours.
Remember a shy Zhao who stood in the same spot her whole life, giving away empty pages of memorabilia. She loved her function. She died standing at the ready. For you, something wild.
Cherry. An infinite clone of a long dead woman from 1,000 years ago, passing out duplicates of the memories of that person, the journal, all of which have their pages blanked.
Remember the armed sisters who upheld a fictitious government and sacrificed many lives.
I mean, I guess by that approach, every government's fictional.
They turned on their own. They didn't know better. For you, something clean. I heard about them. Remember a philosophizing Bang Bang Fire who hated her role and was difficult to understand. She carried the past with her like a shadow. She was happier when she was drunk. For you, something funny. I wouldn't mind something funny.
Knock, knock. She's all over the place in here. I'm unclear on what happened, which is stressful. Just being unsure on what the exact results were of the action I took. I guess I did the full circle. Is there a way down on the side? You can't reach the floor? Oh, over there. These are all the giant shards of the collapsed ceiling. Many of which represent, or resemble, the knife that cut ALLMOTHER.
Remember a stubborn and brash fixer who discovered our first forms of flight and disappeared. She could not sleep through the night. She struggled with words. For you, something secret. Words can be hard sometimes.
She reinvented air travel for people? That's a wild accomplishment. There's something beneath us.
Remember a guilty, matricidal watcher who lost faith in an eye. She could have been a nobody. She was ancient by the end. For you, something fresh. She's my favorite.
She's my favorite. So she knows. She knows at least some things about these people. The reveal that that Fixer is ultimately watching Watcher. Despite the distance they had all along by the end. It's brutal having them never reconcile. This goes all the way around. And Watcher remembers Cherry. I'm sure there's a lot of little interactions to extrapolate from these as you go. The layout of this level is still kind of insane. What's going on over there? She hopped down. Oh. There's a lot more... There's a much longer chain of BBF coming through here than I thought there was. Oh, healer isn't here. I couldn't see the waypoint. I wonder if they're meeting back up. These resemble the lights that BBF wanted so that the ghosts could find somewhere to be.
A tired and indulgent healer who thrived in her late years as a cultural icon. She was petty. She was honest. For you, something sparkling. I'm a big fan. What's it like to be a legend?
Be a legend. I wonder if the sisters reunite over here. Yeah, seems like it. Sure seems like BBF would have preferred to be a healer. The fox statue. Shrine. Not really a statue.
Remember a tight-lipped and two-faced knower whose sacrifices outlived her. She made enemies over and over. She was not for the faint of heart. For you, something soft. So many enemies.
I guess I found everyone, yeah. Knower. She was increasingly a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, she sees them. She's watching. Is that as far as she makes it? Yep. Is it a victory for her, I wonder? Was it worth it? The endless distance from everyone else. Did she ultimately get her way regardless? Or was it all for naught? She was so duplicitous and all over the place that you can't really actually necessarily guess her true intentions the whole time. I mean, you can literally guess them. Oh. There's one where the graves were, but it's not on. I wonder if that's based on my choices? Although why would they build it and then not have it be on? Oh my god, I do not know how to get around in this place. Can I ultimately get there from the inside of Noah's Path? I'm falling for the same trap again. I don't have a map again either. I was getting used to this place, but once you added all the random barriers here and there, it got a whole lot more perplexing to figure out how to get anywhere ever. What if I just can't beat the game now, because I'll just never find how to reach blue ever again in this new fucked up layout? She's right there, I swear to God. There should be like a door like right over there. Where the fuck is that? Can't go in there. Oh my God, okay.
To this day, I wonder, what if I had chosen differently? A sister once said to me, don't think too hard. It's bad for the brain. I can confirm that.
Your sisters. I've heard so much about them.
What would they say now?
I think they would want you to forgive yourself.
There is forgiveness, and then there is the gravity of consequence.
You did what you had to do.
I did. There's one last sight I want you to see. In the cave, where there used to be a waterfall. Please.
And that's where Principal remains. So I was right to think that was a standout. Like, why can't I do that yet? Or why can't I do that at all? There it is.
Remember a lying and leading principal who tried to be a better mother than her own. She chose not to regret her damage. She chose to be in pain. For you, something merciful. All we can do is try, right?
She chose not to regret her pain.
Remember a lying and leading principal who tried to be a better mother than her own. She chose not to regret her damage. She chose to be in pain. For you, something merciful.
She chose not to regret her damage. She chose to be in pain. And her spirit goes nowhere.
I left so many things behind here. Maybe there's still more to leave. How about you? Anything you care to keep here?
I'd like to leave a picture.
Of what?
A friend.
It will be here for you, if ever you're back to visit. Are you ready to return to the others?
I am.
Blue to ephemeral. Blue to ephemeral. Ready for retrieval.
This is ephemeral. Message received, Blue. On our way to rendezvous.
Maybe you'll write something for me one day. After all, there are more yesterdays to come.
Oh. We made it. Absolutely wild game. It has its own cultural context, but it's also approachable to people that don't come from that necessarily and don't know what they're missing from that perspective, but incredible ability to juxtapose different elements and to make every character as multidimensional as possible and really process this huge scale of story without it feeling too overwhelming and bogged down by too much lore. A lot of ambiguity in the ultimate ending. Also a lot of ambiguity in almost everything tied to the occupants in how they work or even what they do. Every time they do something, it's seemingly expressed in like a metaphorical sense. Like it's unclear if what you think happened is even what you're looking at and so on. But wild journey. I don't know, I'm a little at a loss of what to say at the end here because I've said so much over the course of this entire playthrough, every episode, that I'm like, I don't know what to zero in on really. Whew. They have very pointy chins. The character models. It really stands out when they finally aren't wearing a mask, which you almost never get the chance to see. Wild art style, wild presentation, fantastically written. Sometimes I was a little surprised by just how soft-spoken the voice actors could be. Sometimes I'm like, I don't even know if this is audible to everybody. It's on Switch, apparently. That makes it easy to recommend to a few people. I think I had a fair number of people indicate that this was like their favorite game of last year. So it might be more recommendable than I anticipate too. It definitely feels like a weird niche thing that you'd have to judge your audiences for and so on. Although given people recommending it to me, that might be, it's also probably a bit of a, that might not be a way of vouching for its consumability. It might more be like the self-selection of my own audience slash friends being people that would be receptive to something like this. Yeah, I'm glad I finally got to it. I'm so late to the party, over a year I think. That was just an insanely crowded month for really good indie games all coming out at the same time. And we've just been marveling that ever since. I think there's a podcast where the creators of this game and the creators of Mouthwashing get to talk to each other. I'm curious to check that out. I think there's probably a dozen videos that I've specifically not watched because I knew that I was going to play this at some point and I need to not get any sort of perspective or spoilers or things on it. It's a bit of a brave move to leave behind what is seemingly the protagonist. In the case of Watcher. ALLMOTHER dies relatively early in the playthrough when you get down to it. And Watcher doesn't really last that much longer, and essentially from their perspective, us bouncing around and dodging it prolonged her life a bit, but they really do both more or less get destroyed by Principal's act. By the end, I'm like, I don't think I can forgive what she does. it's interesting because they probably do a lot to justify why you would pick each side when they do the narration over each one. So I am curious about how all that kind of sounds and so on, because they put some work in to make it sound like you're making the right call, which they probably always do. It's true, they probably always justify it. It was an interesting take to point out that, like, she had the opportunity to make a different choice, more opportunities than anyone else did, really, and that's what she did with it. It's just, by the time you get to the torturing of Watcher, everyone that's tainted by that, the force that enables it, the people that actually did the torture, the one that watched silently, and the one that demanded it, and so on, everyone involved in that kind of act, like that behavior is so inhuman, and the people that enable it and are involved in that, there's just a taint there where I'm like, I don't think you can walk back from that. I don't think we can accept any version of a narrative where that kind of action is for some kind of greater good or done in the interim for this or that reason. All the justifications, it's like, it's just too it's too dark. Anyway, I'm gonna take a break. Sorry if there's not big some big crazy podcast at the end. It's too vast of a game to try to find like anything to hold on to and fixate on here. Very sentimental game. It very much loves everything that it had. There was no disposable characters for the most part. It's interesting having that final impossible closure between certain characters. A final moment with Dad, a final moment with Mom, and so on. I'm glad I played this. This will be sticking with me for a bit. Thanks for watching like always, guys, and I'll see you next time.